You're tuned in to Grown Folks Production. In the mix. With the commish, Nate.
Hey now, happy Monday. What up, Zoe? Thank you guys for tuning in to Press Pass Live, your weekly podcast show for the OMFL. Let me welcome in my good buddy, Mr. Maniac. Maniac, how you doing today, buddy?
I am doing magnificent, sir. I'm excited about my team. It's been a while since I've been excited about my team.
Everybody's excited, right? Like, and then we get through week one, and the excitement gets squelched for about half of us. It's going to be fun to recap. Unfortunately, I can't have my buddy on video because I'm having to do Wi-Fi still. I'm still working on trying to pinpoint the actual issue with my hardwire and then get it fixed. So we're probably going to be low key, and you're just going to see my ugly face. My ugly face for a little bit, and then we'll get Maniac to join me and make this a much more beautiful stream later on. We're going to work through it. Maniac, let's do some recapping of business season number 118. We're going to use our friends, our partners over at Neon Sports for today, and Maniac, I'm sure, is going to be using the franchise because I know that guy. He likes to dig and find out what's going on. Before we talk draft, though, let's talk about the free agent contract systems that went through. I don't have a button here. I wish we kind of did to show the different free agent pickups, maybe under transactions. I doubt that's what we're going to see here. We're going to do top 100. These are all like released and signed players. Let's see. Is this going to show us free agency? Not sure this is going to show us free agency. Maybe there's going to show some of these. We'll run through a couple of these. I don't know how accurate this is going to be. We'll see if my buddy can help me, maybe tell me a little bit about. But I want to talk about free agency, how we went through this, and who signed some of the bigger players out there. You can see the Vikings made a couple of moves here. Trace Wheeler, I don't really know a lot about him, but an 81 overall cornerback kind of catches your attention. Who else we got out here? Levante David signed with the Vikings, so Vikings investing into some of those linebackers and trying to add to that defense. He's another team that's really excited about what he's building over there. Jaden Reed, wide receiver, goes over to the Titans. Tyler Badisay, I don't know how to say that. A center goes over to the Titans. Al Sharir, a Mike linebacker, goes over to the Titans. Texans signed a couple of guys. Nobody super of note. Joe Tipman, Steelers signed a left guard. He's going to go help build Pepper's offensive line as he's trying to rebuild and make a push there. A couple nice players for the Seahawks. Jason Saunders, Damian Pierce, that's going to be a player for him. Zach Charbonnet, I think, re-signed. I think he was already with the Steelers. Saints signed Tavon Rivers. He was one of the big-time offensive linemen that were out there as a center. I moved him over to guard. Who else we signed? Justin Simmons signed with the Ravens. Looks like D Money picked up Daniel Hunter, so we know he's probably going to cause some havoc with that guy. Marquise Thompson, an edge, 92 overall, goes over to the Raiders. He also got Tank Dell and Mekhi Becton. So, man, the Raiders really investing into that team. Panthers making some moves. I promise I'm going to shut up here really soon. We're going to hear from our guy, Maniac. I'm just trying to run through some of these moves. Zay Flowers goes over to the Patriots. A couple guys for the Panthers here. Tim, who likes to spend money, he only got one guy, Derek Hall, at least according to this. Justin Fields re-signs with the Jets. John Williams, I guess I looked at those numbers wrong. Justin Fields, 84 overall, though, does re-sign with the Jets. Jaguars and Big Hurt spending some money. Tucker Kraft, a tight end, 83 overall, going to go play for him. A couple long snappers also being signed. A couple teams. Drew Sanders, a Sam linebacker. Aloquan, outside linebacker, going to go, or Will linebacker, going to go play for the Giants. I think that might have been a re-sign as well. I could be wrong about that. Kevin Dotson, a guy that I was after, goes and plays for Bill and those Giants. Grant Delpit, man, Giants and Bill spending some money out there. Wide receiver Rashawn Bateman also spending some money. Falcons spend some money. He signed, was it 3, 6, 9 guys over here. Orlando Brown, Tremont Edmonds. I think you had him at one time. Dre Greenlaw, Kenny Moore the second, defensive tackle Zach Sealer. So, man, Massimo spending some money out there. Thule, not even going to try his last name. A right edge is going to go play for Massimo, the Dolphins. He also got TJ Hawkinson and Spencer Brown, so some offensive linemen going to go play. Villa going to go play for D. Wayne and the Dallas Cowboys. Oh my goodness, how did we let that happen? He's going to cause absolute havoc with that guy. Let's go to the next page. We'll run through these quick. Scotty Miller, not a great receiver, but a speed guy, and we know what he can do with some speed guys. Trenton Simpson, signed by the Colts. Also, Brandon Jones, an 85 overall strong safety. The Commanders signed a handful of guys here. DJ Moore is going to be probably the biggest name there. 86 overall wide receiver, going to go play for Rod. Jake Bates also going to be kicking 99-yard field goals. Now he's going to score points no matter where. You can get a 3 and out from the 1 yard line. He's still going to kick a field goal. Divine Diablo, will linebacker, going to go play for Trey. Also Derek Barnes. Your Cardinals signed a handful of guys. The biggest one, Christian Wilkins, 89 overall defensive tackle. And you were telling me about this weird message that you got from Big Hurt about that. I'm still sitting here trying to do the algorithm in my head about what is he talking about anyway. But you invested into a lot of defensive linemen over there. DJ Reed Jr., a cornerback, 83 overall, going to go play for your Cardinals. Malik Hooker can still get it done, 78 overall. The Bucks signed a handful of guys. Jermaine Johnson II, Tariq Hill, that's going to be fun to play against. The Browns being a big spender, Garrett Williams. Who else has he got here? Riley Moss, 80 overall. Also a long snapper. Quentin Shaw and Deron Payne going to play for the Broncos. The Bills only signed one guy at 68 overall, halfback, and Tyler Goodson. The Bengals spending a little bit of money. Robert Spillane, Kendall Fuller, also Kyler Murray going back to the Arizona Cardinals. So we're seeing a couple of guys getting signed here. So overall, no massive movers and shakers. But was there anything that caught your eyes? We went through free agency as I just talked for 15 minutes straight about what free agency looked like on Neon Sports.
Well, I mean, the thing that was kind of catching my eye was like some of these guys, like the Giants. I mean, he invested a lot of money into what looked like to be his defensive side of the ball. He did get some Marvin Mims Jr. That's probably a really good signing. I know, like anytime you get kind of a younger wide receiver that he's like in his 80s and he's got a little bit of speed and also able to make those contested catches. That's kind of a big signing, I think. But he definitely went out and he kind of revamped a lot of the areas that maybe some of the loss that he had in the offseason from the previous season from not having maybe the money to sign. But he got some superstar Alokun, the will linebacker. Drew Sanders is also a superstar player as well. And I believe
Kevin Dotson also.
I believe Mark. Yeah. So all those guys have superstar abilities, and sometimes those can be kind of big for you and stuff. And I know, like, when you're building your roster, you want to have those guys on your roster because if nothing else, it does make your opponent kind of take notice, like, oh, there's a superstar over there. So maybe I'm not going to run the ball that way every time, and I'm going to run it this way. And I don't know. It can help sometimes, I think, with the cat and mouse type situation in games played.
Giants, Raiders, your Cardinals, the Seahawks, even though not a lot of players, a lot of good players, impactful players. Falcons, I think those are some of your free agent winners. I mean, Cowboys, you got to throw him in there. Anytime you get Villa, like, my goodness. I mean, that guy's going to be a monster over there. So I think a couple of guys really did well in free agency. This is the time in the Madden cycle where after this season, we start to find out who managed their cap well and who did not. And we start to find out who got themselves in a lot of trouble. But after free agency was over, we went over to the draft. So let's just recap the first round. We're just going to do the first round here. And then we can talk about some of our kind of winners and teams that we thought did really well. Tremaine Middleton is going to be your first overall pick in the season 118 draft. The cornerback is going to go play for Cincinnati and Denver. That is not the direction I thought he was going to go, especially being a normal dev guy. Like, that's got to suck when you get that first pick. You're hoping that you can hit that one out of the park. But don't worry, right behind him was D-Money, and we know he got a hidden guy. So D-Money is going to bring in Matthew Jackson, James Conner, a defensive tackle. The run on defensive tackles and cornerbacks early on. I mean, your first 4 picks here, cornerback, defensive tackle, cornerback, that is abnormal for most Madden drafts, at least in the OMFL. Cameron Johnson, the Minnesota cornerback who I really, really like, is going to go play for Nisanger. Todd Atkinson, tight end, going to go play for Priest. Lane Holland, a strong safety, going to go play for Raj. Gordon Jackson, another cornerback. He loves his cornerbacks down with the Rams and D-Money. Glenn Lowry, wide receiver, going to go play for my Saints. Jose Escobar, a center, going to go play for New England and lost. Courtney Carey, a cornerback, going to go play for Massimo and the Dolphins. Brandon Rouse, a edge, going to go play for Pepper. Nate Hitchcock, a wide receiver, going to go play for Bill. Joey Gutierrez, a right guard, going to go play for Shocks. Nick Manga, a Mike linebacker, and this guy's a stud too. I think he was like 90 speed, 91 acceleration. Going to go play for Colin. Carlos Ivory, I've already played against this kid. Let me tell you something right now. This guy is going to be, that's not him. That's not the guy I was looking for. Where's he at? I'm trying to underline. Here he is. That guy is going to be a problem in the OMFL. Go ahead and get rid of it. Get ready for it. Big Hurt's going to be causing problems. Ben Vega, defensive tackle, is going to go play for Twinkie. Quan Jackson, you got a cornerback for your Arizona Cardinals. Brett Grayson, a defensive tackle, and going to go play for Zoe. Shaq Stinson, a quarterback, your first quarterback off the board, going to go play for James. I always want to say Randy's brother. That's not his name. His name is James. Charlie Parker, a right guard, going to go play for Joker. Mac Bush, what a name. Mike linebacker, going to go play for Cincyberg. Gregory McLeod, a defensive tackle, going to play for Kevin. Alec Goldstein, a wide receiver, going to go play for Roger. Manuel Mattis, a center, going to go play for Cleveland. We know that Mr.
That's a name.
Little Koch, he knows how to draft those offensive linemen. I don't know what magic dust he sprinkles on it, but he figures it out. Brett Wilcox, this one shocked me, a quarterback, going to go play for Meek. Austin Sewell, a wide receiver, going to go play for Cincyberg. Brian Spillner, a wide receiver, going to go play for Dwayne. Alfonso Alguire, what a name there, quarterback, going to go play for Trey. Jonathan Diaz, a wide receiver, going to go play for Massimo. Luis Gomez, a tight end, going to go play for Tim. That one also a little bit of a shocker. Casey Peterman, a edge, going to go play for Rod. Andy Ford, a defensive tackle, going to play for the Colts. That is your first round draft. And as you can see in the OMFL, I can't believe this. Drafted dev and they're dev now. I don't understand the second column here. But if the first column is correct, no, it's the second column. The second column is correct. I don't understand the first column then. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 32 draft picks were normal dev. Everybody else was hidden dev. I mean, the OMFL just don't miss when it comes to the draft. What'd you think about the draft, Maniac? I appreciated you and the other guys jumping in. It was kind of fun. We had a big group, but you kind of hid in the back there a little bit. Sometimes I had to pull you out to the forefront. But what'd you think about the draft? Any winners? Any teams that you thought really improved their team?
Well, I mean, just looking at how the draft kind of unfolded, I know we were all talking about how we were kind of shocked how the defensive tackles were kind of the focus. It seemed like coming into that first round, it seemed like a lot of a lot of guys. I'm trying to quickly count up here while I'm talking. There's 1, 2, if I didn't miss one, 3, 4, 5, 6 defensive tackles taken in the first round.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I mean, because most time these guys, they're not letting speed pass the first round. I mean, they're taking undrafted
Not a lot of
free
speed
agents
this draft, though, right? Like the speed. That's a good point by you. Like we usually see all the speed go early, but there wasn't a lot of speeds that probably did open up those other positions.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point there because we did see some teams go after the speed, but then there was these guys like we were talking about who went after the D tackles and then also linemen. The guys in the trenches. Kind of, if you were to look at the full amount of numbers here compared to the skill positions to the guys in the trenches, I think it's a 50-50 split down the middle of guys drafting those type players in the first round. And I think that's a first. If I can just thinking back at some of the previous drafts, because I mean, there's been a few drafts that I think there was probably 10, 12 wide receivers taken the first round plus quarterbacks and then cornerback, and then all the rest of them kind of fill up the space as round 2 and 3, but it's kind of total opposite. It was just a kind of a mixed bag, but the defensive tackles and those linemen really kind of dominated that first round, which is kind of nice to see. It's not always just guys just going for that. They're building from that inside out, and I just think it's kind of cool.
I'm gonna run through your top 5, bottom 5 on the draft grades, which I wish I knew more about the formula because last season I felt like I had a great draft and I was bottom 3rd of the league, bottom 4th of the league maybe. This one I felt like I had a very average, below average draft and I'm 11th. So I don't fully understand. I think it's overall rating, and because I drafted 2 guys that had a pretty high overall rating, that's why my grade gets a little bit of a bump here. But I'll run through the top 5, bottom 5. Top 5: Rams 80.33. Vikings 80, Texans 79.2, Chiefs 78.67, and Bills 78.5. Titans also tied with him with a 78.5 at the number 6 slot. I know we don't have time and space to do this, but I'd love to look back at these. All right, here are the draft grades after the season's over. Look back at those teams and see who did really well. Here's your bottom 5. They're going to be, we'll do the bottom 7 because a couple of these guys are close. 75 with Trey, 75 with Little Koch, 74 with Randy, that's your champion, 73 with Nipples, 72 with the Ravens, 70.75 with Colin, and 69 for the Carolina Panthers. So that's who Neon Sports thinks was your top 5, bottom 5. I added a couple extras in there because they were really, really close. Who was the big winner for you looking at this draft from not a grade perspective, just like, hey, man, I think they really impacted their team?
I haven't had a real good chance just to dig through everybody's draft yet, but I think the Texans, really improved.
Mm-hmm.
He let some guys go, but he always, that's what he says in the chat. This is where I get to shine, is in the draft, and Roger, he's in the top 5 nearly every draft, and it don't matter where he's picking, if he's made the playoffs, once or twice or whatever, he always really very impressive with how he maneuvers the draft, trading picks and trading around to get in spots where he feels like that he can get the players that will impact the team the best for him. And so I think he is like one of the top guys that you have to look at for his team. And let's see if I'll pull up his roster here on the game. He got the wide receiver Golston is showing he's a superstar, 81 overall already. He's got 93 speed, 92 acceleration, and he's a big bodied receiver, 6'2", 212. So that's going to be a big impact for him. And then that Holland kid that he picked up, another 82 overall guy, 91 speed, 86 acceleration, 86 change of direction for a safety. I mean, this guy could nearly play cornerback with some of the grades that we've seen from a cornerback in these places. And then every other rookie that he had nobody that was drafted that was below a 70 overall. So everybody they drafted was either 70 and above, and he had 81, 82 guys in that draft. Most of the rest of them were 75, 76, 78, 77. Just a spectacular draft, in my opinion. And then I have to give another nod to the Rams. We all know D-Money. He drafts well. He kind of lives to the draft too. At times. It seems like, and again, he was one of the ones that didn't draft a guy. Well, he did have a 69 overall running back, but that was the lowest one he had. He had a 82 overall defensive tackle, which I kind of think like he's probably going to be one of the best players coming this draft. He's got 84 speed, 85 acceleration, 89 strength, and he's 6'3", 292 pounds. He's big, massive, and fast. So just another thing that, us guys in the NFC West, we got to deal with. And then you got a cornerback. He loves the cornerbacks. And I have to joke that it's this guy that he drafted, Gordon Jackson, is the twin brother to the guy that I drafted, Quan Jackson. Because they're also very similar in their size and also their attributes, which is kind of funny. Jackson is 6'4", 183. My guy is 6'3", 190 something pounds, I think. But both have around 91 speed, 95 and 94 acceleration. Change of direction is almost the same thing. So it's odd. They're almost like copycats of each other. But the very good draft in that sense. He also picked up a couple of offensive linemen that are mid 70s that are going to be, I think, beasts for him as he progresses through the rest of this draft.
The Rams are the scariest one for me. Like, that just means this guy just had a bunch of high overall guys, and we know when D-Money can turn it on, he can be really dangerous. My top three, again, it's not like I'm sitting here super analyzing this as my job, but looking at what guys did through the offseason and how I feel like they draft players to complement their style. You already talked about Roger and the Texans. I thought Nysanger and the Vikings did really, really well for his team. Feels like a brand new team that he's rebuilt over there, and they lost in the Patriots. I feel like he also did a really good job of rebuilding that team and finding some players that I think will step in and help him from day one. What up, Daniel? What up, Priest? What up, Birdman? What up, Zoe? Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us here. Maniac and I doing a quick Press Pass Live recapping the business season from season 118. We're going to be off to season 118 as soon as the show's over because we got all of the guys done at 53, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing advanced. Before we go, and before we just kind of recap everything, I want to look at upcoming free agents. I thought this was a really neat addition to the Neon Sports page. Now, we could sit here and go through a ton of these. Excuse me. I'm not going to. I'm going to show you the top 50. These are the top 50 upcoming free agents. So you can see there are going to be teams that have to spend a lot of money. The number one, or the top guys right here, we're just going to go like 98 and above. Baltimore has got Jackson. He's going to be up. Why do we not see names here? Oh, no, it's over here. Duh. I just had a stroke there for half a second. Lamar Jackson for Baltimore is going to be up. Ian Peters, the quarterback for Jay Bouse, is going to be up for contract. Jamar Gibbs is going to be up for Tim. Christian Gonzalez, the cornerback, is going to be up for loss. He's got two guys. He's also got Tajay Richards The wide receiver for New England is going to be up. Malik Neighbors is going to be up for contract. Will Cole for Carolina is going to be up. These are all X Factor 98 and above guys. A couple of them are starting to age, though. Cole is 29. Richards is 28. The rest of the guys, pretty young. Lamar is going to be 30. Anthony Richardson Sr. is 25. Sean Kelly, defensive tackle for Buffalo, is 28. Bijan Robinson's up for contract. Justin Herbert, he's already been let go from one team. He's going to be up for contract again if Priest wants to re-sign him. Dexter Lawrence, who's on the trade block, is up for contract. And a bunch of young guys. You got Cliff Childress, the edge, 97 overall, X Factor for James. He's up. He's 24. The cornerback, Daniel Richards, is up for contract for Colin. He's 24. So a lot of guys are going to have to make some tough long-term decisions. And one of two things can happen in this cycle is if you get a guy that is open to a super long contract, it's actually good for you because we're not going to play till season 5, 6, or 7 in that contract, or probably even season 4. So you're pushing a lot of that money into the future that we'll never get to, which is good unless you're going to bring him over as an import, and a little bit of a problem that you got to figure out. Or it could be bad because these guys are going to want a lot of money, and you can see they're already making a lot of money now. Going to be an interesting offseason to see what guys do. Any thoughts here about the upcoming free agent list? This is a fun little addition to the Neon Sports page.
Yeah, there's some big names on there. A lot of names that we saw play in some OMFL Bowls recently. I mean, some guys that have made big playoff pushes for their teams. And like I said, some of these guys are getting older. And that is one of the toughest things to do is actually manage your cap. I think that
because it's confusing, right?
What was that again?
It can be a little confusing sometimes.
Yes, and I've not done well in the past. Trying to manage my cap. I've made a couple mistakes, and I'm like looking back like, oh, now I've set myself up, because I don't have no money to spend. Yeah. And that can be kind of rough too, because when you've got some spots on your team that you could improve, especially there's some players sitting down on the free agency, but I ain't got no money, and so now I've just got to scrape the bottom of the barrel and hope that I can find a player that can kind of fit a piece. But it's also nice if you don't have that problem and you got the cap space, you can go in like, you know what, I need this guy and I'm going to bring him on my team. But sometimes these players, like, you're looking at like Will Cole of the Panthers. If you go ahead and pays him, he'll probably be all right for the next 2 seasons. But kind of the way these players do that 30-31 area, especially on these guys that are kind of positions where like they're the cornerback, the wide receiver, running back, those things, they tend to regress a little bit further than and earlier, and then some of these other positions do, and so then you can kind of get yourself in a rock and a hard place, if you get that signed to your team, and then you're like, oh, he's only good enough to basically be a safety, but he's too small, so I can't move him. So you either gotta hope that you got some kind of incentive that you can cut him, or you're stuck with him. And anytime you got an X Factor guy, though, you probably, if you're gonna make a push for an OMFL Bowl in the next couple of seasons, probably sign him. Go ahead and eat that bullet or whatever, and try to make your run. But then there's other guys, like Dwayne. Dwayne is like one of the guys I have to speak of. He seems like he always loses, key players, but he replaces them either with a rookie or somebody just kind of off the street. He'll turn them into superstar. That's just the type of player he is. And so Dwayne managed his cap a little bit different, so that's just, it's neat to see how differently guys approach this, and I've approached it a different way. Most of my time playing here this season, or this Madden, I kind of went a different route, hoping that I could figure out, the cap. And so far, I had to give myself a pat on the back. I've actually done better with my cap situation this Madden than I ever have. And it was nice to actually go out and spend money on guys I needed to help improve my team. So whether that, pays off remains to be seen. But yeah, these guys that are on this list. So I mean, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that if they make free agency this next round, it's going to be probably hopping in that free agency bidding war.
Carolina and Baltimore are the two teams I think are going to have to really think about what they're going to do and where they're going to spend, how they're going to build their team. I think those 28, 29, 30-year-olds, those are difficult. It's like they're X factor. They're 99 overall. How do you say no to that? But then they're 30, they're 29, they're 28. It's like, here soon they're going to start regressing. I got to pay them big money. It's like those are really difficult decisions. And I think the teams who win long-term here make those decisions the best. So it'll be interesting to see how both of those play out and how all those, that's a big list of free agents that are going to be coming up, some good players. I mean, that's just your top 50. And that's, I think the bottom one on the top bottom 50 was 90 overall. So we're talking about really good players here that are going to be up for contracts and going to be due. I got two quick messages and then we'll do just overall thoughts. One was from Meek Boy. He's watching the show. Shout out to my guy Meek. He just said that he didn't say all this. I'm filling in a few of the gaps, but that the quality of the quarterback that fell to him was just too good to pass up. It looked like that kid could be an X factor guy. I think I was shocked because of how much he poured into Milroe and how much he invested into Milroe. And Milroe was a great player and started to play really great for him and got him into the playoffs. And he just kind of had a tough game there that lost it in the playoffs. So that's why it was shocking to me. But he said the hope was, hey, I invested into a guy that I think can be an X factor. And then Priest in the chat says, what do you think of my Herbert pickup? Priest, let's look at your team. Let's pull it up really quick. I don't know your team the way that I know my team clearly. I think I was interested in your draft and the way that you drafted. You drafted so many tight ends and like early on, it just was, you just approach your team very differently. The quarterbacks right now on the Green Bay Packers, Justin Herbert at 97 overall. Theo Richardson, a star 82 overall quarterback, is his backup, and Spencer Rattler is also playing for him. The Theo Richardson is the part of this that's like intriguing to me. You got a 29-year-old and Justin Herbert. Look, he's X factor. He's ready to go right now. He's 97 overall. He can do everything. He's got speed. He can move. He can do it all. But you got a 23-year-old star quarterback sitting right there. He's 82 overall. He's 23, 6'4", 228. He's got some speed, 81 speed. He's got a big arm, 93 arm. Like, I don't know. I get the point in spending the money if you have it for Herbert. But to me, if it's a one-year stopgap, it's like, just invest it in a Theo. You'll have your long-term play even for next Madden. He's 23, so you should be fine there. What are your thoughts about Justin Herbert going over to the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, I mean, if he's trying to win this season, putting all of his chips in to win this season, then it's a good move. But you look at his roster, and he's got a lot of young players. And he's let go of some players. I traded with him for that like 88, 89 overall center that he was trading. And he's had some cap issues, because that just comes along with certain teams. And sometimes it's not even your own fault. It's the real life NFL team's fault, because they've kind of made some bad cap decisions in real life, and you're kind of stuck with it, and you got to try to fix it. So, but looking at his team, I think going forward, for me, I think it kind of hurts the progress of Richardson. because if he sets him on the bench and plays Herbert the entire season, because if you're going to pay Herbert $25 million, you need to play him. I mean, that's, but now you're losing a year progress from Richardson that, basically he could be your quarterback for the rest of this Madden cycle. So, that's kind of what I did with my team. I brought in my import, instead of playing Murray. I played my import, and then now he's like a 98, 99 overall X factor as well. So, and he's still got 2 seasons left on his contract. So I've got that rookie contract still flowing for me over there with the Cardinals, and freeing up some extra money. So just kind of quickly looking at his roster, I think maybe he could have possibly used that money elsewhere to maybe strengthen up some of his other weaker spots. But that's Priest. Like we talked about, a Priest. He tackles his roster building a little differently than the rest of us.
Yep.
And so we always seen it. We've seen him go through the motions of drafting 3 running backs and back to back to back in a draft before, and he's actually made it work for him. A time or two. He's had a couple of running backs that were just super dominant and stuff.
Superstars.
So maybe with these tight ends, he's got a little bit of a plan going on with the tight ends. Maybe doing some of these heavy sets. Running.
How much you love
that
those.
way. Yeah. But I had to give him. I had to give him a little bit of prop. Saying that he's got a plan and he's trying to execute the way he wants to and stuff. And so be it. But again, I look at, if you're paying $25 million to Herbert and you've traded away some of your speedy wide receivers and you're kind of stuck with what you got now, I probably would have maybe invested in a top notch wide receiver to go along with Herbert or whatever. But that's me. So but,
I'm with you.
And just to kind of speak on a little bit with Meek. I just looked at that quarterback. Oh my goodness, that dude's. I don't know if it's because he's got some coaching stuff on him right now or not, but that dude is at 85 overall right now, showing on his team right now, and he's got some good stats. So yeah, I have to give him props there. It's kind of hard to let that guy slide because he is only 5 spots behind the guy that you've been playing as a starter, and he very similar to a lot of the stuff that. Milroe does. So if Milroe's coming up for a contract, he may be hitting the door and this guy takes over for him. So he may not miss a beat.
First, finish out on Priest. I hate seeing Ezekiel Elliott at fullback. I don't know who did that, but I should ban you for life. Look, Tim Snead, the halfback, is good. I don't know that he's great with the 90 speed. And maybe it's me. Maybe I'm thinking old school. I'm investing in Theo Richardson, though. I mean, that guy is just a stud, and you said it perfectly. These wide receivers are mid at best. And when Priest is playing really good football, he's got a great quarterback, he's got a really good running back, maybe 2 or 3, and he's got a superstar receiver. There's no superstar receiver on this team, not right now, at least in my opinion. His offensive line is questionable. Your top guy's 84 overall. Everybody else is below 80 or at 80 or below. So offensive line's questionable. Defense really good. There's some playmakers over there. I wonder about the cornerback position a little bit. So if I'm Priest, this is what's fun is we all build our teams so differently. I'm not spending the money on Justin. I'm investing everything into Theo and making him what he can be. And I'm going to find him some weapons, some way, somehow. But if you also have the money, go spend it, whatever. It's just like, I think it hurts the future development of what you're trying to do with Theo. Let's go look at this guy that you're talking about with the Seahawks, the quarterback. We'll go to the depth chart here. Brett Wilcox, you can see him here. Hidden, 79 overall, 81 speed, 88 acceleration. So he can move. He's not Milroe, but he can move. 94 throwing power, so a bigger arm, better deep, less medium, but not by a ton, and less short, but not by a whole lot. Throwing on the run the same. Throwing under pressure, big difference. He's 11 under the throwing under pressure of Milroe. But again, if he is an X factor, that can go a really long way. So it just was an interesting pick, again, because of the investment for me. You invested a lot into Jalen, but hey, if you got a chance to upgrade your team, you said it during the draft, you feel like you're set everywhere else, then go make your team better. And the quarterbacks, because of how the draft played out early, quarterbacks fail, and he just had a stud fall into his lap, and now he wants to go and build them. This team's really, really good. So we're going to see what the Seahawks can do and Meek can do as we move into the new season. Let's put a bow on this thing. When we come back this Friday, I hope that we can do this Friday. That's New Year's Day, isn't it? No, New Year's Day is Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay. Yeah. So hopefully we can do a show on Friday at some point. We'll figure out an exact schedule. I'm not back on the routine. Once we're at work and everybody's doing the routine, I'll have a more set schedule. We can do predictions then. That way we're like maybe a game and a half into the season, and get a better idea of what's going to happen here. But just overall, good offseason, fast. I had one complaint about how fast it was, but I was like, hey, I'm sorry. Everybody's around, and the OMFL never wants to hit the brakes. No one ever wants to. They just want to go. So that's what we did, and no one said anything. So good, quick, fast offseason. Got a champion in the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of teams added to their firepower. It's going to be fun to see how this one plays out. Give me your overall thoughts of the business season for season 118.
Yeah, it was quick. I do think it was precise. I mean, it was precision, like from most everybody. I think it was kind of there for a while. I think the pause draft, that I think we were thinking like, man, we weren't going to get to the round at all, and or even to pick 10. I think at some point, So, but. So that was probably the only downfall, I think, of the offseason, was just the pause draft kind of going slow. But the set to 53, man, when guys got in, man, they're like, they set. So it's just, it's always, like I said, we reset, everybody's excited. Like I said, for me personally, I was more excited because I actually have controlled my cap better, and it was actually nice to be able to go into free agency. Like, it's like going to the grocery store, and you got a wad of money, like, yeah, I'm going to get this today because I just feel like it. And so that's kind of the way I went into free agency. And I was actually fighting Dwayne for Vea, but I didn't have all the criteria that he wanted, so Dwayne was going to win out on that one. So I just backed out and went to somebody else because I was all like, there ain't no way I'm going to compete with winning a championship. And so Dwayne's got that, and that's what he was wanting. So, but I really like how my team is worked out so far, and I'm excited for everybody that's Nice Auger looked like he's building really good, and some of those guys that they're kind of on the far end, maybe closing the gap a little bit, on the bottom end. I know one thing though, this NFC West, man, they look like it's going to be a juggernaut, man, because everybody I think improved their team immensely, so it's going to be something else. So, but again, I have to say congratulations to Randy on winning the OMFL Bowl, and I know he's excited about that, man. He, looking forward to seeing if he can repeat.
Yeah, I think it's the difference between, because I almost was in for Vea as well, but it's the difference between really good teams that we're just filling in holes and making ourselves better, but overall we're good, and teams like mine and yours that are working from the bottom, trying to rebuild the team up because of the NFL team and salary cap and everything we've been given. The problem with Vea, and the reason I didn't get in there is like, I got a 23-year-old defensive tackle that I need to invest in. I don't have the luxury of just flopping a one-year guy in there and go and try to win the whole thing. It's like I'm still trying to build just to get to the playoffs, and so I need to invest into the young capital, which goes back to the Priest thing, right? It's like invest into the young capital until you get to the cusp of like, okay, now I can go make a run. Then you start investing into the veterans that can help you kind of take it to the next level. I can't wait to break this down. You and I, when we come back, hopefully on Friday, if you're free, we can look at just some predictions and how this is going to play out. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting season. You can just see the preseason records. Now, most of these are sim. Only a handful of us actually played, but Arizona, Washington, Atlanta, all 3-0 on the NFC side. Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, all 3-0 in the AFC side. So maybe we're seeing a change in talent. I think the sims can tell us that, at least, that like there's a talent thing that has happened here in these teams that maybe were in the bottom are starting to elevate the overall talent of their teams. It's ultimately going to come down to two things: who has the best quarterback play in this league, the most efficient quarterback play, and then who can make stops efficiently on defense, who can make great third down stops, who can make great red zone stops. I think if you can do those two things on each side of the ball, one thing on each side of the ball, you can win in this league. And we're going to find out which team can do that in season 118. And it's the fun thing, like the NFL. All of us feel really good about our teams. Come week 3, we'll all feel very, very different. But right now, today, we all feel really good. Down in the comments, let me know your thoughts of the business season for season 118. It's been a fun one. I'm going to go advance us and get us into the regular season, and then the clock is going to start ticking. That's right. 3-day advances are back upon us. I've got my game scheduled for Wednesday, so it should be fun. Guys, thank you, Maniac, for coming to hang out with me and doing Press Pass Live. The guys have loved having you back, and I'm glad that you've made time to come and do that. For everybody else, thank you for hanging out with me here on a Monday. My goodness, I'm all twisted and turned. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your week. I will be back a little later tonight, so come hang out with me and watch us shoot some people. Should be fun virtually in the game. All right, love you. Bye. Peace.
Deuces.
Smash that like and subscribe.